Okay, this is going to be a VOD review from my stream. Shout out to Dennis on YouTube. We were in my stream at one point and told me that I had missed lethal on this match. So we're going to go through the whole match, see if we can do anything different and start it off. But basically what I'm doing for the sideboard here is I am going for more of a, what's the word I'm looking for, tempo based here, due to the fact that they have large attacks. And I'm explaining that in the video. I don't want to have any non-blocks against him. I want to just deal as much damage as fast as possible. Here's their own AV3 Spell Void 1. We have an interesting hand. I believe that they were going first. Let's find out real quick. We can double check that. They are going first. Okay, because if we were going first, I would have gone with Tunic, but just so that way I have the resources. I think it's going to go more than 3 turns, so I could have the guaranteed resource. But this works as well. And I can have the block as needed for if I had brought Tunic. So for me, if I'm looking at this hand, I would have blocked with everything but Spindle as needed, so that way I can guarantee that I have something to play next turn and I get to opt. So they don't have go again, so I just block 6. I have my guaranteed blue. They do have pummel possibility, but they don't play it as often. Right here, let's pause real quick. Looking at this hand, starting off, you have 2 options. You can either keep blazing in your arsenal and hoping to combo early and use that as a push through a finisher, or you can pitch it to staff and then spindle with one of your blues and use blue to hit something off the top with the remaining resources that you have. You'd have 1 floating with that resource. For me, since I have already sideboarded for tempo, I would like to keep blazing in my arsenal at this point. I can always rotate it another turn, send something off the top, play it from arsenal, ping for 3. But since I'm already playing on the tempo orientation, I want to spindle with a blue and staff with 1, and then Kano off the top if I need to, if I find something good, and arsenal the blazing. See what I did here. So yeah, I staff and spindle with 1 blue, see what we get off the top when we get the option, depending on what the arcane barrier, and we'll make a decision on after that what we see. All right, so we see a kindle and a potion. So obviously I want the potion as well. Right now, thinking for the tempo, they already pitched a blue. I'm not going to be comboing. A lot of people will say to IP the Kindle, so keep it, draw into it. Honestly, yeah, it's not bad since I'm already going to Arsenal Blazing. If I have a decent combo in hand, it's just fantastic. If not, I could just use it on my next turn, depending how they attack with me. So we should just swap these. Potion in front, Kano off the top, Arsenal Blazing, and we'll draw into Kindle. I could see the warrant for wanting to put it on at the bottom because I don't want to IP it if I'm not comboing, which I also have 2 more still left in the deck, so I think it's a reasonable thing. But a lot of people will IP it due to the fact that it's like, hey, you already have your finisher in there. Your Kindle is the next best card you want to see in hand when you're about to combo off. With this hand, we would have had 3 blues in that, so we would have seen Quickening if we were trying to combo. We'll go through it. I say yeah, no blocks. They haven't discarded a 6 cost, but they probably will, either Agile Wind Up or Mighty Wind Up. More likely than Agile. I'll say no blocks. If anything, they'll just get the go again off of it. It's only 3 damage anyway. There's the Agile Wind Up discarded, giving them the agility for next turn and a might through the Kano ability, and they can go again. We're all like, cool. And Intimidate. So if we had the Kindle here, we would Kano, see that. I'm just going to do the math. Let's pull out the calculator real quick to see if they weren't talking about this is where we missed lethal, due to the fact that we're already playing alternate timelines. If we had kept the Kindle in hand, so we would see this, which would be 4 damage availability, and we'll just keep that there because we don't know what's happening next. We're just going to keep that tally available for us. Intimidated a card, so we would have done it before intimidating and just took in 6, and we'll see what we draw up on the end of our next turn. So we just say, oh, block here for 3, since we decided not to combo off. That is a reasonable thing. We're high health. We could even set no blocks and just take 6, and we would have a full set of blues here, which I think is even better because you can Kano off some more cards or just guarantee more blues for the following turn. But here we send, now that we're in this situation, I would just send Aether Quickening with a staff and then Kano off the top afterwards, depending on what the arcane barrier with. You could attempt to guarantee go again by discarding this as well, but you would be down a blue with nothing else to do. because you still have to pitch to Aether Quickening itself. But that's where if you had done if you had not blocked with the blue, you would have another card to play with if you had to go again. Even though it's just a zap, you would still be able to Kano off the top, regardless if you had go again or not. They just took the 4 or the 5, so giving us technically go again. I'm gonna Kano off the top here, and then so our combo would have been +1 if we're not meta in Carpus, and we had an Epot, so technically we would meta twice. But they're a similar life total. We don't even have to do the math. So they're similar life total here as to what they have been. They took, in this timeline, I'm saying over here, they took 6. I'm like, 6 is a decent amount since they're already being greedy with their hand. I can just send another 6 with this blazing, and I can clear out my arsenal, which 12 damage turn on a wizard is pretty fantastic due to the fact that you don't get that much damage that often. So I'm super happy to send this blazing for 6 to try and chunk them down, especially with AB3 and that spell void or spell prey, whatever you want to call it. I really want them as close to 20 as possible just to ensure that I can one-shot them. I can always play post combo. I'm still at plenty of health, and they took another 6. They just straight up took 12 damage here so far. I have no upsetness with the play lines here. Bloodlush Bellows, the reason I do this is just to see. I can't block with that card anyways. I could IP it for my own turn, but I'm just trying to set up for the following turns, as I'm going to take a decent chunk of damage here. Thinking, okay, how many blues do I need? Do I want any of these blues in general for the next following turn? Like, am I just going to block out an arsenal lesson? Depending on what they draw, they could just draw 2 cards that they can't afford. Granted, they have 2 floating. Let's see here. I'm deciding to YOLO it and send this lesson and hit with the guaranteed blue. So right here we have lessons and lava, because I guarantee they have not much health left, and we have lessons and we can float a Kano, which is awesome, so we can grab a random card as needed. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing a little tiny combo here just so that way I don't think I'll be down dead, but I can strip out the additional resource card and deal some extra damage with the lesson. Honestly, it's not a bad turn to just block as well. Not sure why I needed to commit my rags there, because we have 3 blocks, and yeah, they have a card to pitch for resources. They would have 1 more resource here if they weren't using it to attack, because we have no arsenal, so they have no reason to send packing. Yeah, we're at high health. I was just fine with blocking 3. Just use the Eye of Finia to see what blues we have. Keep the rags. Depending on what tax they send, we can just block with 2 cards. Like, yeah, they can only send Swig Big for 11. We blocked 6 of that. We have Lessons of Lava. Put Lessons of Lava in Arsenal. So here's one misplay there. I understand using Eye, clear up the top cards so that we can try and see afterward. But just block with the 2 blues. We have Arsenal, Lessons, and Lava. I think that Ragamuffin's usage was unnecessary, and just weird. Get another lessons. I'll have resources for Kano no lessons, and then I won't have resources for anything else. I didn't stop and think about it, so that was the answer. I just didn't think. Now we got our second Kindle. We are down our Ragamuffins due to some random shenanigans. So here they are just sending potentially 5, or it was 6 because they have that. I don't mind just blocking 6 and casting Gaze the Ages to set up our hand the next turn. Block 6 and we can Arsenal the Kindle. Yeah, we don't get the Gaze the Ages back, which is fine, but like I said, we do get to set up a little bit. So I see another Kindle. Realistically, at this point, second Kindle's not bad, just to the fact that we don't have the Ragamuffins anymore, so we can use the first Kindle out of our hand to draw a card. And if I'm keeping that, I should just bottom the Overflow, I think. That way I can just find Wildfire, because right now all we need is Wildfire. Realistically, since we're looking for Wildfire, I should just bottom both the Kindle and the Overflow, as I already have Kindle. In my head, I'm trying to do block 2 again and just send Overflow with Kindle, so I would draw and buff, so potentially get 2 resources. But at that point, we're already at 13. That's and they have an agility, so that's honestly an attack, claw, and to an attack, and I'm dead. So I realistically should have just bottomed those 2 cards and found Wildfire. But let's keep watching and see how it panned out. So we have 2 blues, an Overflow that we can't rags, or Deja Vu. So yeah, we don't, if we had a Deja Vu, maybe I could keep this red one just to pitch the staff and Deja Vu, but we don't have that either, so I don't know why I needed to keep this. We're just better off with more blues to try and Kano off and find that Wildfire off the top as we haven't found one yet in the deck, so we still have 3. We're still high 3. By high 3, I mean there's still 3 in the deck, and highly likely to see it. So here, yeah, we should just block 2, play potion, and then kindle to get the second kindle at our hand, because we don't need IP2 at this point. We are looking for wildfire. Yeah, so block 2 or block 1 on each side is what I did. It's blocking the same amount of damage, but yeah. Now here we just play potion, kindle, try and find wildfire. If it's not a wildfire card, I would pitch it to, okay, Will of Arcana. I would have pitched it to Crucible. That way we have one less card. They have another Blood Rush Bellows, so I'm like, okay, I'm at 4, so whatever they draw is basically going to kill me. We do end up finding the wildfire, which is cool. That's fantastic. We have a kindle, 2 resources. Unfortunately, we don't have ragamuffins for the sonic boom in our hand, which would be fantastic. So what we need to do from here is another Kano activation to see what's off the top, and what we could do is, if we wanted to guarantee the use of sonic boom, we could do boots. Oh, not boots, sorry. Kano, see what's on top. If it's expensive, then we could, no. See, I'm trying to find the best line with what we have here while incorporating the sonic boom and drawing off of kindle. So it would have to be Kano, find something off the top. Then we would have to staff once. No, we would have boots with the chest piece, sonic boom on the stack, throw wildfire, kindle, draw a random card, sonic boom hits a card, and then we have one potion left to Metacarpus as well. So we could, like I said, we're trying to do it. We would go, honestly, we don't even have to Kano. We could staff with one of the sonic booms, have boots, cast sonic boom with the blue. We would have 1 floating, and I can chest piece, or no, we don't even staff here. It would just be boots with this into sonic boom with Metacarpus on the stack. We pay for Metacarpus, pitching that. We would have 1 floating here, which we can activate potion. That would give us 3, cast wildfire, meta, kindle, and we draw the top card. So that's one line we do, and we could do the math real quick. So if we don't know what that is, so we'll have to see after Arcane Barrier real quick. But wildfire would be buffed 1, 2, 3, come in for 7. But let's see the line we do here. We do the Kano one, we get a flare, which we would have drawn off our kindle in this theoretical setup. From here, we should just staff. From here, I know we don't use the sonic booms, being able to play them. So with this current line, I forgot to Metacarpus, which is, we'll do the math here of what we played out, and then I'll play my theoretical line so we can see their Arcane Barrier. So here we drew a wildfire, which is what the sonic boom would have hit. So wildfire is coming in for +2, which is 6. And let's see how much they have floating. They have 2 floating already, and they have a 3rd card, so they can Arcane Barrier 3 if they want to, which they do. So wildfire came in for 4. So we have 4 damage being dealt, which we have the resources, the Metacarpus. I don't know why I didn't Metacarpus here for the extra damage. So we've only dealt 4. So everything should have an extra +1 at the end of this combo if done properly. I Kano just to see what the next card is, to see if we have any damage. So we have a 1 cost, which we can afford. And and I pitch the wildfire. So this is coming in for 5, which the AB1, so it's 4. So we have another 4 damage being dealt. There should be 2 more damage. So this should be at technically 10 if I had Metacarpus. So we had, let's say we have 1 less resource from here because we Metacarpus. Actually, let's say this potion's used because we Metacarpus both. So technically that'd be +1 +2 off the wildfires. So we should be at +3 on here off the combo. So this potion's used in my combo line that I had Metacarpus, and then we use Tunic to play this. So this should be buffed by which would not have killed. Let's say here, so they were at, we dealt 4, and then I can't read that, it's dealing 12 damage, so +12. We dealt 20 with this current combo, whereas we had Metacarpus, 5 would have got through as opposed to 4. We would have had 6 gone through, 6, and then we could Metacarpus the other one to make it go up. So it'd be at 6 that would have gone through because they arcane barrier 1. We already have 12, and it would get buffed by 6 and then 6. So this would be buffed by 12. 12 plus 4 is 16, which is 28. So we would have killed there. We also have our Sonic line, where if we wildfire, we got +2 on it. So in the AB 3, 6, so 3 would have gone through. And then Sonic Boom hits for 6 minus 1 because they arcane barrier it. It's 3. No, arcane barrier, it gets +3. Arcane barrier 1. So we get 4 through +4. We draw the blue, and Sonic Boom hits wildfire. Hits wildfire. Wildfire will be 4 plus 3. So we get +7. And then we would see the. So it's a little bit less damage, but we would have an extra resource to off the blue that we drew off the Kindle, so we could Metacarpus here on the Sonic Boom, so +1, and we'd have 15 damage. What were they sitting at? They were sitting at 25. So even if I did the Sonic Boom line, that wouldn't have been lethal. On the line that we did, turned out to be the better line. But if we had just Metacarpused each time, it would have been 28 as opposed to the lackluster damage that we dealt. So yeah, if we had Metacarpus here, we would have been able to deal an extra amount of damage on each of them and killing them. So when in doubt, just Metacarpus. If you're about to die anyways, wildfire buffing is always +5 on the high end off Metacarpus, especially when you have a flare. Just Metacarpus it. It's gonna do double duty. This is like basically a mini wildfire buffing the other one. So hindsight, should have buffed it. I'm glad we went with the non-Sonic Boom line, even though I love hitting Sonic Boom. I'm just double check my math here. So we have, I'm gonna pause the recording real quick. Okay, did the math. In this starting hand, we had 15 resources. We Kano, -3. All right, we see it's wildfire. We really want to use the Sonic. So we pitch the boots, play Sonic, and we pay for Metacarpus. Sorry, actually, we don't meta here. This is the best potential. So that'd be -1. This would be -3. Ugh. Yeah, because we need that extra resource later. So numbers are messed up a little bit, but none, they're perfect. I just messed up here. Yeah. So -3 of our 12. That's 9 resources left. This is still on the stack. Then we staff wildfire, Kano with the last card in hand. We Kindle, draw blue, which is this Aether Flare right there. Oh, where'd my notepad go? Aether Flare, so even it is -4, but we drew blue, so we stay at 9 and at neutral, or not neutral, but we drew the blue. So the damage after AB is wildfire is 4 damage, so our current buff is +4. And we have 5 resources left. Sonic Boom resolves. It is dealing 6 because it is +4 on the 3, so that'd be 7, and then they had 1 resource left over for Arcane Barrier. Total damage so far is 10 damage. Then wildfire is free because that was the next card we see off here. We drew off the Kindle, we drew the wildfire. So that's what Sonic would actually have hidden. So wildfire is free, and then we have a resource, the Metacarpus, leaving us with 4 resources remaining. Wildfire hits for 9. Our current buff is 13. Total damage is 19 damage. We're at 25 at the beginning. So we have enough resources for a 1 cost that we have to risk because we're still running Spindle in the deck. So we have cost for 1 cost. We have enough resources for a 1 cost or 0 cost. We have to hit one or the other. We know it's Aether Quickening because of the VOD. Aether Quickening comes in for 17. A 0 cost, oops, 0 cost would have been +13 anyways, and they've already taken 19 of their 25, and we would just have a resource for Metacarpus, and that's 36 damage with this combo. So if we had done Sonic Boom and not Metacarpused it, we would have been able to have a full line dealing 36, or if we just had Metacarpus the wildfire in this line, it would have killed as well, just barely. So use your Metacarpus nodes. Do your math, count your stuff, hope for the best. Thanks for watching. Bye.